Hey guys, welcome back to Ash Heart Books. This is going to be my July wrap-up. So all of the books that I read up until the Booktubeathon. If you want to hear more about the books I read during that Booktubeathon, just go ahead and go over to the wrap-up that I filmed and put up a couple of days ago. So let's go ahead and get started. I read a total of 11 books before that, so let's see what they're. So the first book that I read this month was Some Kind of Perfect by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is kind of the epilogue book of the Addicted series, so it's the last book. It wraps all of the characters' stories up, and I absolutely loved it. It was so sweet. It was so heart-wrenching. I think I cried at least 3 or 4 times during this book. You guys, if you want a heart-wrenching, just touching story about a group of friends, definitely read the Addicted series by Krista and Becca. It was such a good series, definitely my favorite series I've read this year, so I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. So the next 2 books that I read are kind of a duology, so I'll talk about them together, and they are The Player and the Catch by Kay Bromberg. This is the second one, I just put this picture up, but they are a sports romance duology about a baseball player in Major League Baseball and a woman who is his physical therapist. I just really like reading about those kinds of storylines. I'm a speech therapist myself, so I think I kind of relate to those type of things a lot. And it was just really sweet. If you like a good sports romance, definitely check out Kay Bromberg. She also wrote another series about race car drivers that I've previously read and really enjoyed. The duology just kind of follows them. Her dad is also a famous physical therapist, and there's kind of like a bit of a mystery aspect going on with him. I really enjoyed the 2. I gave the first one 4 out of 5 stars, and I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars. Definitely very cute sports romance. The next one I won't talk about too much because I've already talked about a couple of times on this channel, and that is The Beast of Clan Kincaid. This is what kind of started off my love of Scottish romance this month. Or not my love, I've always loved it, but kind of my resurgence with it, I guess. And this one's about Niall, and he basically wants retribution on this clan that did him wrong, did his family wrong when he was younger, and so he goes to find this clan. There's a girl involved, and he maybe finds out that maybe vengeance isn't what he wants something else instead. Very good. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. So the next book I read was the How to Date a Douchebag, The Studying Hours, which is the first one in the How to Date a Douchebag series by Sarah Nay. I really enjoyed this one. I've talked about it before. It was hilarious. It was funny. It's about a guy who basically is kind of being dared to walk over to this girl at the library and give her a kiss, and it just kind of follows from there. I have never laughed so much in like a romance before. Her writing is hilarious. If you're looking for a romantic comedy, it read to me a lot like watching a movie. So definitely check out the How to Date a Douchebag series. Okay guys, next was An English Bride in Scotland, and I loved this book. I think this was probably my favorite I've read this month, or at least one of 2. It was by Lindsay Sands, and I absolutely adored it. So it's about a girl named Annabelle who is in a nunnery. She's about to take the veil to become a nun when all of a sudden her mother, who she hasn't seen since she was like 7 years old, shows up and says, nope, you're not gonna become a nun. You're gonna come home, take the place of your sister who has run off, and marry the man that she was betrothed to. So poor Annabelle just has no idea what her life is about to become. She never really wanted to be a bride or a wife, and now she's having to be thrown into this. The guy his name is Ross, and he comes to, you know, collect his bride. He's kind of not really into it, but I mean, it's kind of what is expected of him, and he instantly just feels very attracted to and wants to take care of Annabelle, and it just kind of goes from there about them growing together, becoming husband and wife, kind of figuring it out. Even though they are married fairly early on in the book, I feel like it is a slow burn romance because they kind of are learning how to fall in love and how to work together throughout the story. I just really enjoyed this. I think it was more just the characters were so great. Definitely check this out if you want a good Scottish Highlands romance. So the next one I read was Devil of the Highlands by Lindsay Sands. So as I said, I love Lindsay Sands' other book, but this one just kind of fell flat for me. I felt like this is one of her earlier books. I think I gave the previous one 5 out of 5 stars, but I didn't say that. This one I gave 3 out of 5. It was okay. I just felt like the characters were very one-dimensional. I was really bored throughout the whole thing. So many people have loved this book, and that's kind of what made them want to read more of Lindsay Sands, but if I were me, I would suggest maybe starting with another Lindsay Sands book, because this one just didn't do it for me. It was okay. The next one was, come on, In Bed with a Highlander by Maya Banks. So this one I did absolutely love. Maya Banks has written a lot of other contemporary romances, so I wasn't really sure what to expect with one of her historical romances. This was so good. It was such a unique storyline. It's about a woman who, she's somehow related to the king, and so she has this huge dowry, and it's said that if she gets married, she will be able to give them a bunch of money and a bunch of power, and she kind of goes from there. And she basically is on the run from this guy who's trying to marry her, who's evil, and she finds a child. And this little boy is saying he's lost and he wants help to find his father, who's a laird in like a neighboring land. And so she takes him to find his dad, and it kind of goes from there. His father does become the love interest, and of course his dad is interested in marrying her. I mean, where he lives is definitely struggling financially. They could use the dowry, the money, but it definitely is way more than that. This was such a sweet romance. It was just, I felt myself swooning during this one. It was just, I really enjoyed it. If you want like a steamy but sweet Scottish romance with just the perfect like gentleman but also kind of rough and tumble, check this one out from Maya Banks. The next one I read was Cold Hearted Rake by Lisa Kleypas. This is one of her first book in her Ravenel series, which I've talked about before. I kind of read them completely out of order. Whoops. I liked this one. It's about Kathleen, right? Is that her name? Yeah, Kathleen, who is married to a guy named Theo who passes away after they've only been married for like 2 days or something. So the new man who's going to be taking over, who inherits the land and the house that she lives in, comes to take it over. And basically it's the stories between those two, and Kathleen is not gonna just let him necessarily take the house and kick her out. She definitely puts up a fight, and rightly so. And Devin, the man who comes to take it over, is definitely one of those like rakish, like hard to love characters at first, but he definitely grows on you, and the two of them together fit so perfectly. By the end of this one, I really loved it. It was not my favorite Lisa Kleypas book, but I definitely liked it, and it added a lot to the other storyline. Okay, the next one was Always by Lindsay Sands. As you can see, I was on a Lindsay Sands like binge. This one was okay. It was just all right. I got sucked in by the cover because I thought it was really pretty, and it was just kind of something I'd heard before. Again, she was in a nunnery, about to take the veil. All of a sudden, her father, who is the king, said that she needs to marry. It just seemed very overdone to me. I could tell where it was trying to be funny, but it almost seemed like it was trying too hard to be funny. And that I could see where she was going with the storyline, but it just seemed a little flat. It just, I don't know. It took me forever to get through this one too. So I gave this one 3 out of 5 stars. Oh, I gave Cold Hearted Rake 4 out of 5, by the way. I'm really bad at telling you star ratings, but this one was okay. Again, I don't know where I stand with Lindsay Sands now. I love some of them, not so crazy about some of them, so we'll see. And the last book I read was Only His by Madison Rose. This is a writing duo of Aurora Rose Reynolds and Natasha Madison. I love Aurora Rose Reynolds, so I thought I'd give this one a try. It's cute. It was kind of fluffy and steamy at the same time. It's about a guy who's a celebrity and starts dating a girl, and he doesn't tell her who he is, so it's kind of a big woo surprise in the middle. It was okay. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I would definitely check out something else from her. Very high on the steam factor, and I just didn't feel like there was enough storyline, but it was cute. Okay guys, that is all I have for my July wrap up. Please tell me below what your favorite book you read this month was. I would absolutely love to know. Give me a thumbs up or subscribe if you'd like to, and I will see you guys next time in my next video.